Hello, I'm Vince from Weir Airstream in Chandler, Arizona. Today I'm going to do a brief walkthrough on this 2026 Rangeline. We'll start up front here. So this is on the ProMaster Dodge Ram chassis. So you're going to have an engine. I'm going to show you how to open the hood. You have your hood release. You have a little arm that just comes out, so you pull that down, that releases it. You come over here, this then comes up, so go up like this. And as far as this engine compartment, what you'd be concerned with the most would be, this is where you put your windshield washer fluid in, if you wanted to fill that. You have a dipstick right here in yellow. And then if you needed to add engine oil, you can add your engine oil here. These fluid levels usually are checked if you take it in for service. It's your radiator fluid, brake fluid. But the components that you would access the most are right up front. And that's about it. Very simple on these. This goes back down and then this goes in like that. And then as we move around on the driver's side, you have your fuel door here. So you'd open the actual door, and then on this, you're going to open this right here. And then you'd put, and again, this takes regular gasoline, not diesel. This is not a diesel. And then you can close that to lock that up. So we move around the driver's side again. What's really nice about the Rangeline is it's kind of covert. You don't really know it's an RV until you start opening compartments. So to access some of your dump tanks and your fuel fill for fresh water and whatnot, you would unscrew this. And then once this comes out, you actually have a magnet here, and it's kind of tough. You pull that. So if you want this to open, you can just open this, and it just attaches there. And then here you have a little light. You have your connection. You have an outside shower hose with a sprayer. You can connect there and then use onboard water if you need to spray off a dog or feet at the beach or whatnot. This is your fresh tank fill here. So if you're hooked up to an RV park and you want to have onboard water, you would just hook up a potable water hose here. And then this is your sanitation flush. This is for your black tank flush. So if you were emptying your black tank and you wanted to flush out the tank itself, you get a separate hose, not this hose, one that's designed for black tank flush. And you'd hook that up, turn the water on, and it would flush out that. You just need to watch your controller inside that tells you where you're filling it up in percentages, because you don't want to overfill that. And then you have a light right here. And then as we come around here, you have two handles, a black handle and a gray handle. This is your black tank, your gray tank. And of course, remember, black tank is just a toilet. That's it. And then the gray tank is everything else. Sinks, shower, etc. And then over here is your smart plug. This is a 30 amp plug. You squeeze this and just pull that out. And this is the power plug that does come with your Rangeline when you purchase one. And then to put it in, you just squeeze these two levers and just put that in, and that's it. These are your exhausts for your Timberline system for your heating and water heater. They're just exhaust, and your generator. So we come around the back. So you have a battery disconnect, but you also have a manual override battery disconnect right here. So you could turn this, but usually you have got a controller up front that you can control that. So that would shut down your interior batteries, not to the van itself for driving, but just the coach itself. And then you do have fresh water fill here for onboard water. So if you were going to boondock and you wanted water on board to have with you, or while you're traveling, pull into a rest stop and you want to not use the facilities, you want to use the facilities maybe in your van, or you want to cook, you would fill up the water here. And then you have a control center I'll show you in a minute that will tell you how much water is in your fresh water tank. And then while we're in the back, you have an arm here. That is for your awning. So you would bring that arm down, and then I'll show you the slot that this mechanism would fit in, and you'd roll the awning out. You have a bug guard here. If you want to roll that down and zip it in. So if you want to leave the doors open, you can get fresh air. And obviously it's a screen. And then since we're back here, you have for tank heaters, you can turn this on and off. And then you've got your controller for your inverter. As we come around the passenger side, you just pull the handle and the door will automatically close. And then you do have some electrical hookups here. And that's a data port on this side. So folks that like to do their Starlink can plug in there. And then here you just, again, pull this and you have to manually open the door. And that will open. You do have a screen right here. And then on the passenger side and the driver's side, you have adjustable seats. So you can adjust up and down. The back goes, if you pull this out, the front, the back, the back goes up and down. And then you have the same mechanism on the other side where you pull this out. And this is how you swivel the chair, both drivers and passengers. So if you pull that out, okay, the chair will actually rotate around all the way. And then it will lock in here. So, all right, we'll go inside and kind of cover some of the features in the interior. The front cockpit area on this particular Airstream motorized product, you have all the cruise control and your switches for your screen. You can navigate back and forth. It's just like an automobile. You have all your controls for air conditioning, your safety features that come standard in this. So you would activate that obviously with your key and once you start it. But as we come inside, you have a counter area. You have a tower here with electrical that you can connect to. This particular unit also comes with, there is no propane on board, so you have a convection cooking top. What's nice about this is you can plug it in here, or you could take it outside at your campsite and you could plug in outside and use it in that fashion if you wish. Then you have a JBL speaker that comes with your Rangeline. And then you have a little light here that you can turn. And these turn on by just touching them. You have your sink. And then up here you have your table. Now this table adjusts several different ways. You can lift the table up and then slide it back and forth. You can actually take the table out if you wanted by lifting it up and pulling it out. So this is completely open. Or you have a knob under here that a secondary panel comes out and it comes all the way around. And you can keep adjusting. So if you had somebody else or multiple people, let's say people sitting here, or people sitting here, and you wanted to use more table space, and that just keeps locking in, and you just control that with the knob you just pull down. Then you have more storage up here. This particular Rangeline comes with the optional pop top. So you have an actual ladder that folds out. It's stored up in here. You have some storage up here. And you'd pull the ladder out. It folds down. It locks in up here. And then you would basically climb up the ladder and then go up into your pop top where you can sleep. And there are some little map lights up there. And of course, there's zippered windows, so it gives you that option for other people to sleep. To access the pop top, you would pull. If you wanted to bring it down, you'd pull these down, and that would release it. And then to pull it up, you have to unlock it here, and then you push it up. And there are videos that are more extensive on those, on how to open and close it, but it's very simple. And then as you come over here on the inside, you have a couple control panels. So you have one control panel here that controls all the components inside the back compartment of the Rangeline. You have a home button that's going to tell us what the temperature is in here, your fresh tank, your gray tank, your black tank, where you're at, if you need to empty or not. We have a generator setting. You can start your generator. You can start your generator here. There's cinema mode. You can shut the lights off, dim them, a lot of different features. If you just want to control specific lights, you can hit these. You have patio light, you have aisle lights, accent lights, and then you start getting into other components more specific. You can set your generator to come on and turn off at certain times. Then you've got your air conditioning settings. You want to turn on your air conditioner. That's on the roof. You hit the cool button, and of course you can set the temperature desired. Then you've got some other interior components for cleaning mode and whatnot. And then this relates to your inverter. There's some factory settings that's showing you where your power's coming in, where you're drawing power from the batteries versus if you're plugged into 30 amp service. And then this is for your water heater and your furnace. This is how you operate that. So you could run some warm air through your air conditioner on the roof, like a heat pump, or here you would actually turn on your Timberline system if you wanted a furnace, and you would control that with the different zones. You have a front zone and a rear zone. When you hit that, then you can set the degrees that you want. You can go on electric, or you can go on the system that uses some of the gasoline from the van itself. And then if you wanted to go to the hot water heater, you'd hit that. Again, you'd set your hot water heater to what temperature you want on that. So again, this Timberline controls hot water and furnace. This controls everything else in the coach. As we move towards the back, we have a 12-volt all-electric refrigerator with a built-in freezer inside. And you have a control knob on the bottom that controls the temperature. You have a very small little convection oven here. You have a bathroom. It's a wet-dry bathroom. You do have a door that can close. It does have a pump on the side where you would, to bring the water, you'd pump that and fill up the bowl. You have a fan here inside that you can turn on if you want to exhaust things out. You have obviously more storage. One of the more notable storage for this is this bottom one pulls out and it becomes a step, and some storage in there. So for getting into the bed. And then as we move towards the back, you have another control panel back here. So if you touch that one, it's a mini version of that control panel. This is nice if you're laying in bed and you want to turn on the air, you want to turn the air off, you want to turn the temperatures up and down, you want to turn lights on and off. You can do all that from laying in here. And then this is a wireless phone charger. You have your breakers and fuses inside here for the coach. This doesn't have anything to do with the front engine compartment. This is just the back. Then you have, again, more storage here on both sides. You have your air conditioner, again, that you can control from the control panel up front, or this little here, and then you can adjust the vent flow. And then we have the bed. So obviously this is set up so if you want to put a canoe or a kayak or bikes or something in here, you have the bed up. But if you want to make this into an actual bed for sleeping, what you would do is you have some Velcro straps that keep it up. But if you're going to use it as a bed, you undo the Velcro straps. Then this just lifts up, okay, and comes forward, and then it will actually connect into these grooves in here. As you can see, there's some ports that these fit into, and then this comes out and then makes into an actual bed. You still have storage underneath. And then if you want to make up the bed, again, you would take these off and you would just lift this up and you would just bring this back and lay it into place and put the Velcro straps on. So, and that will conclude our walkthrough of the 2026 Rangeline. And if there's any other information you need or questions, you can always get with We Are Airstream of Chandler.